There he is. Our NHL insider, Eric Francis, is joining us on this Friday into the weekend. I don't know how off the rails we'll go. We're going to talk about Vegas in a bit here. First off, tomorrow, Saturday, I always like watching After Hours if you are on there with Scott Oak. Have you got the call for this week? How does the call come if you do get it?
Yeah, you get the call usually on the Monday of the week, and they let you know who they've got lined up. And I always say yes. Are you kidding me? Like the first couple of times I bargained, though, I said I'll do it, but I need a Hockey Night in Canada towel because they don't give those out, right? Like they're hard to get. So I'm like, look, this is my in. Even though I did Hockey Night in Canada for 2 years, never got anything to show for it. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this week it's Devin Cooley, who I will argue with anybody is the best interview in the National Hockey League. He's the most intriguing, interesting cat you'll ever meet. Every time we talk to him after a game, it almost always goes viral because he's just so full of wonder, and you never know where he's going. Like you'd think our talks are off the rails, and yeah, they are, and I love them. But this guy, like honestly, if you watch one After Hours this year, I would recommend it's Devin Cooley. Even if you've never heard of him, he's such a phenomenal story, and he's just such a colorful, open dude. I have no idea I know what we're gonna talk about, but I have no idea where he's gonna take us. It's gonna be a blank canvas.
Why is he such an interesting dude, or what's his background? Can you give us like a look behind there?
Yeah, he grew up in Los Gatos, California. His father was a software, entrepreneur. I think very, very successful. And his father is an introvert, and so is Devin by definition, but they both learned from one another how to be extroverts. Like when you see this guy on After Hours, you're going to be like, I'm sorry, but that's not an introvert. That is a guy who loves to be out there chatting, talking, but grew up in Northern California. His father built him a outdoor rink overlooking Silicon Valley, and they had no idea what junior was, AAA. They just kind of felt their way through the whole thing to the point where here at age 28, he's getting his first chance basically to be a full-time NHL goalie. It's a great story of perseverance, dedication, and like I say, he's just as likable a guy as you're going to ever have. I think the Flames organization gets terrified at times because every time he goes in front of a microphone, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. And he even told me yesterday, he goes, I'm just so full of adrenaline after a game. Hockey makes me feel so alive. I'm an introvert. I'd rather just sit in my room reading a book. But when I get the endorphins and the caffeine, he says, and the high of playing in sport afterwards, and then you guys point cameras at me, I have no idea what I'm going to say. I usually get home after, and I have no idea what I did say. But when I wake up in the morning, I see that I've gone viral once again. I just can't help it. It's pretty cool.
That you made me want to tune in tomorrow night for sure. I saw on your Twitter as well. Too many men call for the Flames. Zane Parekh was he the cause of it? I didn't see it, but what happened there?
You probably could have counted 6 Mississippis between when he left the bench and when Zach Whitecloud got to the bench, and if you see it, it's just egregious. And as we found out after the game from a very displeased coach, Ryan Huska, we had just been warned. Both benches had just been warned. You guys are being a little too loose with your changes. We're going to crack down. And sure enough, this wasn't even like warning or not. I'm not sure there's a referee out there that wouldn't have called this, even in overtime. And it was with under a minute to go in overtime. And with 1 second to go, Anaheim scores the game winner. Look, they probably did the Flames and the organization a favor because the Flames don't want to keep winning. But at the end of the day, it was all on Zane Parekh, and they didn't make him available after the game. I know the kid's pretty classy, probably would have fallen on his sword and said all the right things like I messed up. But instead, the coach said it for him. Coach said, that was a bad change. Any referee would have made that call. It was the right call, and we should know better. He should know better. I don't care how young or old you are. So just more growing pains from a guy who's gone through a ton of them this year.
I love the bad changes in minor hockey, and it's usually some coach that puts it up and then grabbing the kid back. I think that's one of the most entertaining things in minor hockey. Colson's got this stat. He's going to bring it up Wednesday when you were here, and we forgot about it. This, I guess we know why, but Colson, explain to Eric what you found here.
So somebody on one of the broadcasts broke down goal differential by division, and look at how far behind the Pacific Division is. Like, goodness.
People listening on radio, you got goal differential by division, like he said. Atlantic plus 88, Central plus 31, Metro plus 3, and then the Pacific negative 122.
And this is from Wednesday, so it's probably even worse now.
Yeah, look, Connor McDavid made some headlines when he said it's a pillow fight right now in the Pacific Division. I'm actually interested to see if people throw pillows during the playoffs, instead of rats or whatever. but it's it's been awful. But I would be angry if I and I do hear the odd person say is like, what a joke the Pacific Division is. Yeah, for sure. This year it's been pretty shocking how suddenly bad it is. But I just want to remind everyone, last year the Calgary Flames set an NHL record, like a historic mark, with 96 points in the Pacific Division and didn't make the playoffs. So don't tell me that this is an epidemic or they need to reshuffle the divisions, because go ahead and reshuffle the divisions or try to change the playoff format. You're going to have a similar problem next year in a different division, and you just don't know where it's going to come next. I don't know about you, Barney, because we have never really talked about it, but like, there's a part of me that doesn't mind the 1 versus 8 or the 1 versus 16 scenarios in the playoffs. But when you think about it and crunch it down, look, these interdivisional playoff battles are what make rivalries for decades. And I think the NHL got it right when it went to this. All the biggest rivals, like, you can't tell me that the Flames played in the playoffs tomorrow and they played New Jersey, that would be building a great rivalry down the road. Like, you see them twice a year and you don't capitalize on it. I like the system. Don't change it one bit. What do you think?
I don't like it, like, right out of the gate, just because you're going to lose a really good team early every year. But I don't know what the better way to go about it is. I don't think it's the 1 versus 16 thing.
No, like, if you would change it all, like 1 versus 8, so at least you stay in your conference.
Yeah.
Playing against teams that your fans are familiar with, and there's already a bit of a hatred. So that would be a bit of a compromise for some people, but I like the way it is now. Imagine
if they did go to 1 versus 16 and somehow, some way, Vancouver made the playoffs, and then their first round opponent was Miami, or was the Florida Panthers. Like, how would that be for a first round jaunt to go all the way? Or like Edmonton to Miami, the couple of years they've done it in the Stanley Cup. So yeah, I think the 1 versus 8 is the way to go about it. Hey, as a Calgary guy, I want to ask you about this. Interesting, and I know you're not super football guy, although you won an award and a touch football game at a Grey Cup, some sort of thing. What Dave Dickinson said, they need a new stadium, McMahon Stadium, in the next 5 to 7 years. I don't know if you've heard that, but then everything that there was talking about with the Stampede, and then they're redoing the park and maybe putting a new football stadium. Do you think a new football stadium in 5 to 7 years in Calgary is realistic?
No, I don't. I mean, the only hope is that the Stampede decides to try and retrofit the main stadium there, where they do the chuck wagons and everything, into a football stadium. I can't fathom how that's possible, but I've seen reports that it's something they're looking at. There's no appetite for the Flames ownership group, which own the Stampeders, to spend a nickel on a new stadium or anything to do with the CFL. They are an afterthought. Their budget is tiny. They don't make money. Like, that is the lost leader for the Calgary Flames. They are stewards of a franchise that is not healthy. And so I can't see a scenario where they step up and say, yeah, we're willing to put in tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars for a new football stadium. So you can play, 9 home games a year. It's just the economic model doesn't fit. I get it in cities where they don't have anything else, but not in Calgary. It's just not ever going to happen, I don't think.
Oof. Yeah. Well, that makes it tough.
I know it's scary. Like, there was a dumpster fire, and I mean literally there was a fire in a dumpster outside the McMahon Stadium about a month ago, and I thought, oh my God, look at Dickie go. He's trying to burn down his own stadium, so they're forced to build a new stadium. I haven't told Dickie my theory, but I can't vouch for his whereabouts on that night, I can tell you that.
Oh, that's good. Okay, and then so next week in Vegas, and we're in Vegas, and some of the guys that we're going to be running with down there, some of our clients, we really like cover bands. It's like we like the Nashville thing where you tip, and then a band plays a song. And last year we went down some real rabbit holes. If we're throwing money in the old bucket at the front and requesting a song, what is your go-to for a cover band next week in Vegas? What are you going to request?
Oh,
just so I know.
See, time and a place. Like if I'm in Nashville, I'm putting 20 in that bucket, and I'm either asking for chicken fried or I'm trying to stump them with a rap song. And I love trying to see these country guys trying to come up with a rap song for my $20. But in Vegas, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to defer to you. I'll put the money in. You pick the song. How about that?
Well,
I'll buy the songs. You pick them.
The one it was at Jason Aldean's bar. So there was a lot of country, and we started with country. And it was, I think we started with George Strait, Oceanfront Property. Okay. And then, a few drinks in, and then we were getting a little cocky, I think. And then we gave him, and I said, this time challenge him when the guy walked up. Well, the lead singer of the band heard that. He heard that. So then he calls me out and says, oh, what do you want to challenge me with? So then I'm on the spot now, full bar. And I'm like, Matchbox 20. Well, they go into 2 unreal Matchbox 20 songs. We keep going. And then did my mic turn off? No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
And then another 20, and I said 3 Doors Down. So then he does Kryptonite, 3 Doors Down. Then the band takes a break, and then he does Here Without You acoustic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at 90s rock is. I think this year I'll go Candlebox. Far Behind was the song from Candlebox from the 90s. That'll be
we're going back to that bar, and I'm prepping. I will come with armored with some real testers and some bangers that we can have A, some fun to, and B, test these guys.
Yeah. I want you to just go off the chart. Just say, like, go Ace of Base or something. Go Wigfield Saturday night. See if they can do it.
Oh, that's not bad. That's my world, buddy. That's my world. One day. How about the song Move It, Move It? I've got a great song about that band. I think I've told you that one before. Anyway, I'll come up with some doozies.
Okay, and then I'm going to cross my fingers that come Tuesday or Wednesday next week, whenever my taste buds are back, so I can actually taste the libations.
No, I read somewhere that tequila brings taste buds back.
Yeah, it grows.
It kills your brain, but it helps your taste buds. So
the agave. Yeah, exactly. All right, travel safe. See you down there.
Cheers. Yeah, we'll see you in Vegas. Love those words.
NHL insider Eric Francis joining us here on the Sports Cage. It is for Sports Select and sportselect.com, where you can simply make your picks online now. Generate a QR code, take that to the Lotto Spot retailer, and there you go. You got your ticket. Blue Jays opening day today. Got a lot of March Madness, NHL, so lots of stuff to play. Every bet is 100% legal. Must be 18 plus to play. When you're ready to play, bet on the original Sports Select and sportselect.com. It is a Sports Cage on 620 CKRM and streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.